Hello everybody, my name is Rod Gray and I'm going to run through the initial setup of the SiPsHitch system. If the system was fitted at the factory, this setup may have already been completed for you, but we'll run through it anyway just so as you're familiar with it. You can actually go back to the initial setup with the supervisor's password if need be to reset up or reconfigure the system if you're not happy with the way that the system is already factory configured for you. The screen is a touch screen, or you can press the button that corresponds to the nameplate, or it's actually lit up. So let's go initial setup. Here you'll see the different airline categories or the different aircraft categories that are actually displayed for your selection. By pressing any of the tick or the check marks, you can remove that particular category from your selection. By pressing it again, that category will be displayed for you. Tractor Power Digital, this is set up at the factory, or it can be set up if you're installing the system yourself. A digital tractor is one that is controlled by an electronic throttle. An analog tractor is one that we use the transmission to control the power reduction. In this case, we'll leave it as digital. Device usage is typically production. That's a production tractor. We also have our own selection for my display system here, which is Pelican case. We have page 2. You can press on page 2. This will show you the NoToe weight allowance on the hitch. And the reason that we have this adjustable is depending on the different weights of the hitches or the categories, you can increase the dead weight on the hitch before any action will take place. What I mean by that is that if the tractor is in a no-tow mode, then if you place any pressure, in this case exceeding 300 pounds on the hitch without the aircraft being selected, the alarms will activate. Typically this is defaulted at 300 pounds, and this in most cases, aside from a very heavy hitch, is the right weight. If you're using a 125,000 pound drawbar hitch, you may want to select this up at 500 pounds. 300 pounds is good for the 50,000 pound and also for the 18,000 pound. Brake detection, in this case, is defaulted off. We check that to on if we're using a tractor where we shut the engine down in the event of an overstress. This is the only time that we would use brake detection. And the reason for brake detection is that if the tractor is being braked, such as in an emergency situation, then we do not want this system to shut the engine down. So therefore we would check this when the brake lights are activated. This system will not shut the engine down. As I say, defaulted for electronic tractors and tractors where we utilize the transmission to go into neutral to reduce the power, we would leave that unchecked. Restricted start means that a individual code needs to be put into the unit, or the unit needs to be run in a no-tow mode to be able to initially start the tractor. This is defaulted to on. GSE, ground support equipment tow weight allowance. When this is selected, the maximum allowance on the hitch is going to be 500 pounds. We can increase this up to 1,000 pounds if need be. It can also be adjusted at supervisor level in the ground support equipment tow screen. Next step is the actual time settings. You select, you can see the box around the year, month and day. If you want to change the time, for example, you will then press OK for the flashing sign around the hour. You can then change the hour, press OK. You will then press set. Set will be displayed in the time. green tick, and you're done. The next page, walk around check required. This will actually come up on a report sheet to show if a walk around was actually done on the aircraft before the tow is to be completed. This is defaulted on off. However, you can turn it on or you can turn it off depending on your operation and what you wish to see on the reports. Tow warning threshold, 80% again is the default. This can be customized to start the alarms and also the intervention of the system to reduce the power. You can adjust the tow warning down as low as 50% or 60, 70, 80%. Default is 80%. For lighter aircraft and FBO use, 80% is where we find the best setting. For the heavier aircraft such as airline use, we can adjust that down as far as 50% to show early alert to any overstress. Pre-tow check required means that you're going to get a warning or a display showing what pins or scissor links need to be attended to before you tow the aircraft. This is defaulted on, and I would suggest that you leave it on. It's a nice check. We can then go page 1. Power reduction defaulted to on. This provides a power reduction to the tractor in the case of an intervention or a potential overstress. Operator clear permission. This will actually allow anybody to clear the screen in the event of an actual overstress. While this is checked off, this means that a supervisor will be required to clear the tow after an overstress has occurred. Tail number input is defaulted to on. That means that you have a screen that allows you to put the tail number of the aircraft into the system, which will print on the reports. Wing walker initials required. If your operation has wing walkers, you can put their initials into the system before you tow, and this will actually show up on the log sheet as well, letting you know what wing walkers were present while you were towing that particular aircraft. This is defaulted to off, easy check on. Run in full protection mode. You have 2 modes here. Full protection mode gives you all of your reports. It gives you a much more accurate drawbar pull listing. It gives you a larger aircraft listing to select from. In the basic mode, and we'll run through the basic mode in another video, it gives a very fast way of operating the system, still providing you with active protection. However, it has aircraft categories as opposed to actual aircraft listings. The drawbar pulls, while they're reasonably accurate, are generic for that category of aircraft. We'll leave that in full protection mode for now. Load cell expiration is defaulted off. You can turn that on. The load cells are certified for 12 months from the manufacturer. With this check on, this will actually give you a display showing the countdown before the load cell requires a recertification. With it off, you will not see that countdown. We can then go back to the home page, and now we have the normal start page that you will see when you turn the ignition on the tractor. If you needed to go back to the initialization settings and reset them, you can press Start Tow. You can put in the supervisor code, and the system is defaulted with 1111 as the supervisor code. This system is showing a demo mode because I'm using it on a demo system. We then go to Setup, Bypass Setup, and this will actually show us the selections that we have made. If we want to go back to the initial reset screen, which gives us some more options as we've just seen. We would press this button. We would also confirm that this is what we want to do. And we can now go through the initialization again.